Welcome to the Turbo Zone channel, place. Hey, Teddy, what's up?
Hey Alex, what's poppin'?
What's palping?
Yeah, what's poppin'?
What's packing? This review that we're doing today.
Good one.
Today we are here to review the Namco Museum Archives, Volume One. There's
Archive.
two. There's two of them.
RPG Archive.
Spencer's not here.
We're gonna review RPG Archive.
Spencer's not in the archive.
Not this one.
Not this one. Um, so Teddy, what's your deal with Namco?
Namcot.
Namcot, as it says in all these games, because of the Famicom versions.
Yeah. I well, it's Pac-Man. I love the classic arcade Pac-Mans. I've played them throughout my life. I've seen arcade cabinets. Anytime you give me a Pac-Man machine, even just walking through the Best Buy aisle and they got like the new age Pac-Man arcade cabinet set up, I'm gonna give it a run. I remember going to like the arcades in San Francisco and giving Pac-Man a run and setting a high score for the day. And I just loved like that classic Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man, the Championship edition. I played a little bit of that on PS4. When you say Namco, I think Pac-Man. That's my big thing.
Yeah, I'm also a big Pac-Man fan, as you should know. But I'm also really like I think people like to see me as like the Sega guy, you know. But I honestly, when it comes to arcade games, I'm definitely more of a Namco fan than a Sega fan because I think they made some of the best like '80s and early '90s arcade games.
Hmm.
Huge fan of Galaga, obviously. You know, I own a Galaga cabinet. You know, I love playing Galaga. But I have a rich history of playing a ton of Namco games. I like to find the most obscure Namco games. You know, there's arcade games that like you can't even find anywhere. You didn't know about fucking Hopping Mappy? Do you know Hopping Mappy? It's a
Hopping,
Mappy
no.
game.
Hmm.
It's a Mappy game on pogo sticks.
Oh wow.
It's never been released on a console. It's just like I love their history and seeing more of the Namco museums be released always makes me happy.
Yeah. You were telling me about this game. It's on Switch. Oh, you got to get it, Teddy. It's $5 right now. And so I was like, all right, I guess. And so, I bought it on PS4. And I've gone through all of the games, all 10 of them. I've played and gotten my little history lesson. And I'm excited to talk about them today.
And I kind of alluded to it. These are the Famicom versions of Namco games, which is also kind of refreshing because they port the arcade versions a lot. So it is cool to see like the console, like the home console versions of like some of these games. So we're just going to go down the line and talk about each one of the games, give them a little review, and bid bop, biddly bop.
Boop, bop.
First up, we have the ever so exciting Galaxian.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you kick things off?
Galaxian is the first in the, I guess, I don't know what you call it. I guess the Galaxian series, the Galaga series. It was more of a contemporary to Space Invaders, and you can really feel that. It's a pretty early game, so it is slow as fuck. Like I said, I'm a huge Galaga fan, and I have an deep love for Galaga. So going back and playing Galaxian is a little rough.
I think Taito took the W on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played this on the collection. And I was half expecting, the Galaxian ships, like the blue one at the end, to come down and use the ray, so he picks you up, and then you can shoot him off and get the second ship. And it didn't happen.
That's a boss Galaga, yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, like you were saying, I was just moving too slow, and you got these even like the second layer of ships, they do all kinds of swiggly paths, and eventually they just flood the screen, and I couldn't make it past like level 2 or 3 in playing this.
It's a game that I don't like to return too much. Like I said, I have that Galaga cabinet, and the other game on that cabinet is Galaxian. I never play that because Galaga is it's faster. It's so much. It's just more fun. Oh, overall, it's got like little intricacies. What am I trying to say? Intricacies. There we go.
Yes, there you go.
Thank you. There we go. I worked it out. That this game doesn't have. And so going back and playing this is a little rough. If I had to put it up against Space Invaders, I don't know if I would. Which one I would pick? Maybe Galaxian. It is a little faster than I think Space Invaders.
I'd argue with you there, but okay.
I don't know. I had to put them side by side to really tell. But anyway, this is the only game on the collection that I can firmly say I am not that big a fan of.
With you there. This is like D tier.
Yeah, this is like this is here because it has to be.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's like one of the classics. But
Yeah.
ready to move on?
Yes.
All right. Up next we have the boy himself. Oh well, he's a man. He's a Pac-Man. Oh man. So the original Pac-Man, which is the Famicom version, which is interesting because Pac-Man is like kind of big in this version. Like he's a big boy. Like, did you notice that? His sprite just looks so much bigger in this version compared to the arcade version.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought it was still played pretty well, all things considered. I know home conversions of Pac-Man tend to kind of fall short compared, especially standing next to the
Atari
ones. Yeah. Oh God. Ugh, let's save that for another day. This one I found was playable, but obviously it's not the star Pac-Man on this compilation, which we'll get to. And you know what? If we're talking like playing classic Pac-Man, I'm going Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, but this has to be here. I mean, it is the Namco game. It is on everything Namco, merchandise, whatever it is. Pac-Man is the star because this game really was like different for the time. I mean, the fact that like and this version keeps it intact too. The fact that the four ghosts, their AI have different like patterns, like different things they'll do. Like I believe Blinky he follows directly behind you. Pinky tries to get in front of you. Inky, the blue one, tries he'll always go down and I think to the right or left, like one of the two directions, and Clyde, the orange one, is just fucking random. So they're they have patterns that you can actually kind of work out and like decipher, and get good at the game that way. It is a deeper game that I think you can really it looks on like the surface level.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's competent. Like it's not like a kind of a broken model of Pac-Man. To me, it's like you boot this collection up and okay, it's going to be one of the first games that you play honorarily because it's the Pac-Man collection and it's a Pac-Man title. It's not one that I necessarily will pick over other games in this collection, but I agree with you that it should be there. I go C tier.
Yeah, I love Pac-Man. I'll give it a B.
Fair enough. C or B.
So, next up, it's dangerous. It's devious. It's Xevious.
Hey, that was beautiful. Hey. Put that on the box.
I'm pretty sure that was on the box.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure. I know that from somewhere. That could have been like a classic gamer thing. I don't know.
Someone confirm.
But, dude, Xevious, this is like a really early vertical shoot-'em-up game.
I respect this game a lot.
I love Xevious. Yeah. I mean, I actually own the Famicom cartridge of this version of Xevious.
It's damn hard, though.
Yeah, it is. But it's so rewarding because like you can shoot above or you can shoot the bomb the ground for enemies.
Yeah.
And it's very and it gets pretty fast paced after a while, and you're having to like bomb the ground and then shoot the enemy in the air, then swerve around these tiles flying at you and stuff.
Right. Yeah, I think they call it like anti-air attacks is the land attacks. Yeah. Or they call it just land attacks. I'm not really sure, but you have to distinguish between those two. You have rapid fire. I always appreciate rapid fire in a spaceship shooter. If you have to just constantly hammer X, that kind of bothers me a bit. Especially if you had to do that while distinguishing between which shot you should use. There are no like power-ups or anything. You have the standard shot, and then like enemies will come like swerving in, or there'll be like the ground units that are like these little I guess they're supposed to be tanks and they can shoot up. And also like I was getting like early Star Fox vibes here, like Super Nintendo stuff. Like you could see some inspiration for Star Fox in Xevious.
Which is funny because I believe in Assault you can unlock Xevious.
That's right. Yeah, that I remember that.
Yeah, it is just like an early example of like a vertical scrolling shooter, a genre that would go on to, I guess, become, evolve into like the bullet hell, I guess you'd call it, after a while.
Well, not all spaceship shooters employ this system of like distinguishing between aerial units and land units.
Yeah, that's very unique. Yeah,
we do see it in like I think Ray Crisis or something. It's obviously a vertical shooter thing. You don't see that in horizontal shooters. And I think generally we see more horizontal shooters than vertical. I know of more. So, I don't know. Maybe that's unfounded. But I still think that the game plays really well and it's enjoyable. I can't get past that first boss, though. That's hard.
Can you recreate the music?
No, I was listening to a podcast when I was playing. So.
Shoot, it goes over and over again. I feel like this is what they play in like high security prisons to like break a person.
Oh my gosh!
Turn it off.
Clockwork Orange. Imagine you like superimpose Xevious on the movie for Clockwork Orange.
No! Yeah, where Matthew McDowell has his eyelids open.
Please, I beg you! It's a sin! It's a sin!
Turn it off, please, I beg you! The music's super repetitive, but other than that, the game is, I mean, it's fantastic. I love Xevious. So.
I agree with you. I'd say this is probably A tier.
Yeah, I'll give it an A. Speaking of A's, we have Mappy.
Mappy. It's Reg.
Mappy. The classic Mappy. This is interesting because I love Mappy. And you were telling me the first time you played this, you didn't like it, right?
I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, there's trampolines. You play as a mouse. If you try and go forward, the first thing you do is run into a cat. And so I didn't look at the controls going in. I thought, oh, I could just pick up and play this. It's called Mappy. This is not going to be complicated. And then all of my dreams and aspirations were crushed when I game overed in 10 seconds. I did read a little more into it, and I got the hang of it a little better. It's still tough as nails, man. You got like cats chasing you up and down these floors. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's some tricks you can use. You know, you can, of course, they have like the glowing doors where you can kind of open them and wipe the cats away behind you. Then there's also the regular doors. You can also, if you time it right, you can open those on the cats and it'll stun them, so you can kind of make your way through the areas.
It uses like the Galago ray beam or something to push back at these guys. It's cool. I really did like the first level. I was able to get a lot of collectibles and clear it and go to the second one, but I was getting stuck at the point where they start putting trampolines above you, so you start going boing, 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 and then the trampoline just drops. So I would need to play it a little more to get skilled at it, but it's got a groove to it, and I was enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty complex game. The footage I'm showing here is probably, I think when I cut the footage for this, it got to like round 11 or so. It is a tough game, but it's a game. I first played this game on like one of those little like plug and play Pac-Man arcade things. You know, buy at Walmart for like $20.
Yeah.
And I taught myself how to play this as a kid, so I've always really liked this game. I think it's one of Namco's least talked about games. You know, Mappy looks like he'd be like a fun little mascot character, but I don't think they really utilize him.
Yeah. It's too bad we can't map it out.
Hey!
Ha, ha, ha.
Just like the Button Mappers, our
Right.
podcast.
A channel that you listeners at home should go and subscribe to. Because we're almost at 100 subscribers, and when we do get there, we'll do a Clue Land column 24-hour live stream for you.
No!
For you. We're going to split up the 24 hours. I'll take 8, Alex will take 8, and Spencer will take 8.
Back to Mappy. You know, I do like this game. It is more complicated than it looks. It's got a lot of stuff going on, and it's a lot of fun. I give it an A. I like this game a lot.
Okay, I go B just because I need more time with it, and it was cool. But comparing it to Xevious is kind of a tough match for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Dig Dug.
Hmm.
Ooh, Dig Dug.
You know, Dig Dug eluded me for so many years.
Did it? Why?
I never had a game to play it on. But I was aware of it, and so I always thought, like, oh, this is so cute. Like, you get, like, the little goggle guys, and I guess I had played Pac-Man World, so...
No, it's Puka. The red dudes are Pukas, and the dragons are Rygars.
I wouldn't know that, yeah. So, I do know from Pac-Man World, Puka is there, and so, like, I had seen... And even, like, Smash Bros. Melee, I think you get a Puka trophy, and they show up in, like, Brawl as, like, units you can destroy. So they're everywhere. These things.
This is one of the few series that's still going on technically, because Mr. Driller is the son of Dig Dug. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the spiritual sequel series to Dig Dug. So in a way, Dig Dug's still like around in some sense.
Yes.
So that's cool. What do you think of the gameplay of this game?
It's charming. I do love, and you know, I said I was playing with music off, but I heard it, and I love how like as you're drilling through the ground, it goes, and then you stop, and you keep going, it like continues the theme song, so that's cute. I can never get the boulders right. I always want the boulders to drop on top of enemies, and I end up getting crushed because I screwed it up.
Yeah, it's tough. You really gotta set it up. I used to be really good. I mean, granted, I think in this footage I also get to like round 10 or something, but I used to be really good at this game when I was younger. One cool little trick is that if you want to pump the enemies faster, mash your pump button and mash whatever direction you're walking in, and he will pump it faster. You can kind of dispatch the enemies really fast that way.
Pump the jam, pump it
up.
Now your feet are stomping.
Pump the Rygar. Dude, isn't that like a brutal death? Like death by bike pump?
Sounds, pretty high on the list of fatalities.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat has a
I would
a
love
feat to
that.
recommend.
I would love that in a Mortal Kombat game. Someone gets on a bike pump, like just blows
and then
everybody
Dig
up.
Dug just comes running across the screen.
Dig Dug the classic. I would also have to give this one an A.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would go A. I'm not good at it. You know what the thing is? I think I just need to do more pumping. And this is good.
Yeah. Okay, game number 6. This one I'm curious to see what you think about this one because it is Tower of Druaga. What did you think of Tower of Druaga?
At first, I thought it was laughable they were calling this an RPG. Upon playing it a little more, I just dropped the RPG moniker and just tried to enjoy it. It's cool. Like, I mean, it's more of a jousting game. Drop your sword and then go, like, kind of get the key, go to the next level. This one probably was the most intriguing to me that I wanted to know more about. I wanted to get the princess. I wanted to get past a couple of these stages. Every level that you go through gets sequentially harder. The second level, well, this is the first game, can I say, that a slime has killed me.
Hey.
I have never died by slime until I played Tower of Druaga. It was the black slime. These things are invulnerable.
Oh.
And, if they trap you in, you can kind of get screwed.
Dude, the fucking wizards always get me because they pop up and they're like, ha! And you have to like turn quick enough to like deflect their things.
Dude, I was I was playing a little bit today and I got to level 5. I think it was the furthest I've gotten, and the key is right there. It's right up there. I'm like, and then the door's right here, like right to the right. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go get the key, and so I start making my way up to the key, and fucking wizard. Bastard. And that was my last life, and I was like, I'm dropping this for now. But I enjoyed it.
This game I played as a kid on like one of the PS1 collections because as a kid I believe we had like all 5 of the volumes of that, and I've always really appreciated this game. They don't port it too often. They have a couple times recently, like I think the Namco Museum on Switch also has the arcade version, but this is a really like underappreciated Namco game that I'm glad is getting a little more attention now. I was really happy. I had that like Pac-Man 99 game on Switch, and I have all the skins for it, and I was really happy there was a Tower of Druaga skin, and I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. So it's a hard game to get into. You have to kind of learn the different facets of the gameplay and like what the items do and all the other stuff. It can be kind of tough at first. It can be kind of like, what is this, a maze game? Like this is
yeah.
But
and because it's like you normally have a sword slashing game and you slash, but you just need to drop the sword and
you hold
move.
it down.
Yeah,
that got me for when I was younger. That killed me for the longest time because I thought I just had to slash the sword.
Yeah.
And then after a while I realized I could just hold it out and it would kill the enemy, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's very different.
Tower of Druaga. I like this game a lot, but I understand it's not perfect. I give it a B.
Okay. I respect it. I mean, to be honest, this is probably one of the ones I'm most interested in retrying, so I would go A.
Okay. All right, next up, number 7, we have Teddy's favorite game, Sky Kid.
That is not my favorite game. I will clarify that for you.
Have you ever played Sky Kid before?
No.
Okay,
and I don't regret it.
Oh, you didn't like this one?
And no, I thought it sucked.
Yeah, this one's I think it's okay. I mean, it's like a little horizontal like plane shooter game, where you have to bomb a thing at the end of the stage and land the plane and everything. I think it's cute. It's definitely not one of my favorite games. I don't ever like. They put this on a few collections, and it's not like the first game I ever pick, or like even like the 5th game I pick. This is like what I play after I'm like, okay, what haven't I played? Oh, Sky Kid. Okay, I play Sky Kid.
So you have to like cruise through the level and like make sure you don't hit trees, and you like the 2 buttons are, one is like shoot and the other is like drop bomb and somersault. It's the same thing. So every time you want to drop bombs, you better be ready to do a somersault.
I don't know if the I don't know if the arcade version is that way. I haven't played. It's also on the Switch collection. I haven't played the arcade version in a minute because once again, it's not like I think on the Switch collection, that's probably the game I've played least. Is Sky Kid because it's like, yeah, whatever.
You have to like pick up the bomb like 2/3 of the way through the course and then drop it on like a headquarters or something. There's like a little turret before it. It's a little wonky because if you want to aim down to attack the enemy units, you're pretty much skydiving or like nosediving, I think they would say.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an exercise in frustration more than it is in fun.
It'd be easier if they had like a almost like a, I guess maybe like a Gradius style upgrade system where you can drop bombs on enemies and stuff. Yeah, Sky Kid, I give it a C.
Yeah, D all the way for me.
D. Okay. Ooh, this is one that I hadn't played until this collection. I had knew about it, but they didn't bring it to anything here in North America till I think now. It's Dragon Buster. Fuck this game, man.
Thank you so much for saying that. I hoped you were gonna say like this is some gem of a game or something.
No, I had never played this until this collection, and the second one is on the second volume too. What the hell am I doing? I can't figure out what I'm doing. It's
it's hot trash.
It's like a platform. It looks like a platforming RPG. I can't kill anything. I die all the fucking time.
It's terrible. You know what this reminds me of? When we did the Taito Legends 2 review, there was like a Rostin game that was like not like the original.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking. Where he squatted and looked like he was gonna like poop on the ground
every time. Yeah. this is like his son or like his kid or his grandpa, because first off it's an antiquated game, right?
The way the sword works in this game kind of reminds me of Legend of Kage, which is a better game, but you know how it has like the weird flippy sword mechanic.
It's like a scythe or something.
Yeah, that's kind of like how this game's sword works.
Yeah,
and I don't like it.
I played this once and I said never again. It was bad. First off, the thing is, too, normally any game you ever play, whatever it is, you're centered in the middle of the screen. Here you're in the far right of the screen, so you're walking right into enemies.
Yeah.
And then, like, if an enemy hits you, they're going to bounce you all the way to the edge of the screen. You go in, like, these little enemy corridors or whatever. It's weird. It's like a Super Mario Bros. 3 layout or something, where you pick the world, and then you beat the world, you get to the next one, you get a little health. To be honest, that was fine, but just the combat alone was horrendous. Awful.
I've returned to it a few times because I want to understand it. Because again, like, it got a sequel. It's on the other volume. So like somebody had to have liked this. So like I want to know like
why?
Am I just playing am I playing it wrong? Like is there something I'm missing here? I like having the experience of being able to play it though, because again, it was a game that was only in Japan for a very long time, so it's here. I give it a D though.
F tier for me, baby. This thing sucked. Screw it.
Speaking of suck, this game doesn't. It's Dragon Spirit: The New Legend.
Probably a highlight for the damn collection.
Oh my god! Have you ever played the original Dragon Spirit?
No.
Fantastic game.
Arcade port? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an arcade game, and the NES version is like a sequel to it.
Okay.
The arcade game is very similar, and this plays the same way. It's very similar to Xevious, where you can ground like bomb the ground, shoot the air, and then, but it's a little more fast paced. It's a little more like I guess hold it up to like a modern vertical shooter in a way. And this game also follows that same formula. So.
Yeah, dude, this one, I mean, as an a person who enjoys spaceship shooters and vertical spaceship shooters, this is like right up my alley. I do think it's very like it's complex in that regard, and it's already difficult. And so I had not managed to get past level 2, like the actual level 2, not like, you know, you do like the little prelude and then level 1 and level 2. I did find it interesting in doing a replay that you can actually change which version of level 2 you play based on, I think it's how well you do in level 1. Once I had played, originally I was like playing this little kind of bramble section where you had to shoot the bramble, and then in my recent playthrough I was like in a volcano level. I was like, this is so cool. Plus the fact that you're a dragon and you get power-ups that make you like, you know, they increase your span of your shot. This has Truxton feels to it.
If you ever get the chance to play the arcade game, I would recommend it. I don't know what I think it was. The only collection I can think of that has it is the Namco 50th anniversary one on PS2.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't know which other ones have the arcade version. I've played the actual cabinet of that. That's one of my favorite Namco games, and I actually own a cartridge of the New Legend. And man, this is a series I would love to see them return to and try something new with, because it's such a unique idea. Like, how many spaceship shooters do you play where you play as a dragon?
Panzer Dragon.
I mean, you can get like. You can get multiple heads and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me. Yeah, it gives me Truxton feels, but it also gives me in a good way. It kind of gives me a feels of the Twin B series.
Yeah. The only thing that sucks about this is when you respawn, if you have no upgrades, you're basically screwed.
That's true.
True. That's how it reminds me of Truxton. Otherwise, I love so many things, but like I love the style, I love the concept. I don't like the narrative or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. You're like a boy turned dragon to save a prince. I didn't follow it at all, but it's there. They have like kind of like a text scroll, Star Wars style. Very cool game that I wanted to be better at.
Yeah, it's a great game. I love Dragon Spirit.
I go B tier. I wish it was better. I wish it was better, but I like, or not better. I wish I was better at it and it was less complicated. But I still respect the hell out of it.
I give it an A, but I do, because I do like the arcade version a lot more. But this is still a good sequel.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Next up, we have what is the actual name of this one? It's like a
Splatterhouse.
Is it just called Splatterhouse?
Yeah.
Because
there might be a subtitle to it.
Because this isn't the actual Splatterhouse. This
can,
is like
can you hold the switch up to the screen and I'll try and read it for you?
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull the game up. Oh, never mind. It's there we go. It's Splatterhouse. What does that say? Walked something.
Wanpaku Graffiti.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
It's a kiddie version of Splatterhouse.
Yeah. Which I like, actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Very playable. Probably like, and this feels arcade style. Is this an arcade game?
No, this is a Famicom original, I believe.
Oh wow!
Because the actual Splatterhouse arcade games, I don't know if you ever played one of them before, but they're very like brutal, mature-looking games, and this is almost like a kiddie version of that.
That's perfect for me, man. I'm not big into horror stuff, so like I kind of like this Chibi Freddy thing, and like one of the first bosses, quote unquote, that you're facing, I guess, or like mini bosses, is like this little Dracula guy comes out of like a stage shaft, and then he starts dancing with the zombies. You can't attack anybody. It's like, what the hell's going on? Very cute platforming, adventuring aspects. The axe, you have rapid attack, but also sometimes it's better to just time a high jump and a single attack, because the buttons are closer to each other. I didn't get too far in this game, but I did like the password system. Honestly, I think this is probably, just objectively speaking, one of the most playable classic games on here.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and like it is cool to have this, because it is. I don't know how many times this game has been released to an American audience. So having it here is really cool. I do like the Splatterhouse games quite a bit, but this is a fun little, like almost like a little comedic take on the Splatterhouse series. I like seeing that. It kind of reminds me of Kid Dracula for for Castlevania, how they had like a little Kid Dracula game.
That'd be a good compilation for us to tackle.
Yeah. Great little game. I like having it here. Tons of fun. I give it an A.
Okay. I'm tempted to give it S, but I need to go further. But if there is a game that I think I can go further and I want to go further in, is this one. So I'll probably go S tier. Worth buying the collection for.
Last game of Volume 1.
Whoop, whoop.
Pac-Man Championship Edition. This is actually an original version. They took the original Championship Edition and they demade it for the Famicom.
The D-Master.
Yeah, and somehow I like it more.
Yeah.
It's more fun. I don't know.
It's simpler, which is kind of in the vein of Pac-Man and arcade games in general.
Yeah, it's like, I strictly mean more than the first championship. I don't know if I stuck it up to Championship 2. I don't know. I do like Championship 2 quite a bit.
Okay.
But this is a great version. When I saw they were doing this, I was like, that's a weird game to demaster. Like, how are they going to do that? But it works. The game, it looks great. The speed is good. I mean, the game plays really well. It looks like classic Pac-Man.
Right. And for those who haven't played Championship Edition, essentially the concept is you have a bunch of micro challenges where you have to clear the pellets and get the fruit, and once you do, more of the map of the Pac-Man map opens up, and the time also decreases from which you can eat the ghosts when you eat the power pellet. And so it adds like that kind of level of intensity, and you go faster as you keep going. I think you do. Maybe I'm not remembering that right, but in like there's two modes here. There's the normal mode and there's the extra mode. I know in the normal mode you get like 5 minutes, and you get a bunch of lives too as you reach the high scores, which you will, because you're going to get an astronomical score, something in the hundreds of thousands in 5 minutes. And it's really a fun game. When I first played this on the collection, I think I played like Pac-Man and then this, then Pac-Man, then came back to this. I played for an hour, just keep trying to go for my high scores. Like, oh, I could do this. I can hit 300K, and I would keep going. And I was like sending Alex pictures, like, hey, here you go, bud. Like, I know you're gonna beat me because you're a Pac-Man guy, but I enjoyed the thrill of it.
Well, and what's interesting is that Championship, which I've played every version of Championship. The regular DX2 and like the 3DS port and stuff. Championship was interesting because it was like it was like mind blowing at the time, because it's like they took an old idea of Pac-Man and somehow refreshed the idea, made a new concept with the idea, which hadn't been done in years. So it was like, that's super cool, and I love seeing it demade like this, because this is like, okay, now what if they had that idea in the 80s? Which is really cool, because I know if I was growing up and I had access to this, I would have played it constantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but nowadays we do have access to this, and we do play it constantly.
It's just cool.
It is. The extra mode, I don't remember it too well because I was only playing normal this morning. But I think it's like kind of a bridge challenges, and it's only 3 minutes. And it might be faster too. But both of them are really fun. It's just very cool ways to enjoy this game. It's a beautiful game. It's like, even for looking as kind of retro as it is, the colors are constantly changing, the sound effects. It's really just, if you haven't played the Pac-Man Championship games, it's kind of just a sensational experience and kind of a delight to behold.
The big difference, I would say, is that this game only has one map.
Yeah.
Because I guess they were trying to stick to the restrictions of a Famicom game.
Yeah.
Whereas the other championship games have multiple maps and multiple challenges and multiple different settings and stuff you can play with.
Right.
So
I respect this more though, because how many games do you see are really trying to tap into their arcade identity? So many of them go with let's just make a bunch of maps and you can play on the different maps and it becomes like a whole open world. Sometimes I don't want that. Sometimes I just want that boot it up and play in arcade simplicity, and this one hits that sweet spot.
Yeah, they didn't have to throw this in. I mean, this is a totally original thing, and but they did, and I really appreciate it.
Right, and I think it's going to make that second compilation a bit harder to gauge overall.
Oof, I don't know.
We'll find out.
Well, the second one also has a demake.
Oh, does it? Oh, maybe I'm
They
totally wrong.
They demade Gapless, which is the third Galaxian game. So
we'll see.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Sounds like a bunch of hullabaloo to me, but this game is clearly an S tier.
Yeah, I give it an S. Overall, I think this is a great little collection. I mean, you have some of the staples. You got Pac-Man, Dig Dug. And then you have some of the more obscure stuff like Dragon Spirit and the Splatterhouse game and stuff. Like, it's really unique to have access to these Famicom versions of different Namco games that some of them previously have never been released.
Yeah. This isn't a best of collection. This is, I think, kind of like an interesting history lesson, and also while still throwing some flair in there.
This is I think it's really for the fans.
Yeah.
I think if they wanted to do a best of, they would, put, pole position and, whatever else on here too, and kind of have like a, which they've done that 1,000 times. I like seeing them do stuff like this because it feels like they're really trying to appeal to the fans of their games by, being like, oh, here's, Dragon Buster, try to learn that, here's, these other different games you probably haven't played before. Try to learn these,
Overall, I'd say this is probably a solid A collection.
Yeah, I give it an A. I'd be interested in see what you think about Volume 2. Volume 2, it has some staples, it has Galaga and a few other games like that, but a lot of Volume 2 is like obscure stuff, like Pac-Man and stuff.
I was hard pressed to buy it because I was like, am I really going to enjoy these? I don't know. I'm going to wait for it to go back on sale. But
I'd be interested in coming back and doing Volume 2 at some point. Also, if you have the Switch console and you have a Japanese account, you can download the Namco collection, which is basically, instead of getting 2 volumes like we did, they got a service, and you actually get a free Famicom game. I forgot what it's called. He plays a little dinosaur. It's cute for like downloading it. But you actually go on and you download whatever games you want to play, and they have unique games that we didn't get in these 2 volumes.
Oh wow!
So you guys should go on there and buy some of the more obscure Japanese Namco games you probably haven't played before.
Color a Dinosaur.
Color a Dinosaur. That's not one of them. That's not one of them.
If you want to play that, check out the NES console, Famicom computer.
But Teddy, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
We packed up all the reviews.
We invoked the spirit of Blue Dragon.
It's dangerous. No, not Blue Dragon. It's dangerous. It's devious. It's Xevious.
We mappied it out. It was really mappy today. A forecast of mappy.
I don't know. I'm all out of puns.
What games are left? Buster
Galaxian,
Douglas.
Buster Douglas
Buxed
Jr.
it out with Dragon Buster.
Buster Douglas Jr. in Dragon Buster. Dude, that'd be a better game if you just Buster Douglas just punched a dragon in the fucking face.
Yeah, dude, a boxing match with Buster Douglas and dragons.
Dragon, yeah. That's the real.
We're story crafting here.
That's the real quest.
Well, if you want to story craft, listener at home, join us on the Turbo Zone. Subscribe for more Buster Douglas worthy content.
And also subscribe to the Button Mappers, where you can hear us ramble on like idiots for, like 2 hours usually.
Yeah, absolutely. Every week. Every Monday.
Every Monday. All right, man.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.